This is Jimmy.
I'm Jason.
And this is Thinking Outside the Pod. Hello and welcome to episode 94.
Yep, that's a number.
We're back, me and Jason, and we have a special guest, David, joining us for the second time.
What kind of special are we talking about here?
Special.
Like special as in you want to hold him at night, or special as in he goes to a different kind of school?
Oh, I don't know. David, what would you say? If you
I'm all kinds of special.
Oh, he's all definitions of the
He
word.
covers the entire spectrum of special.
Depends on the situation.
I ride the short bus.
And
I drive.
I drive the short. Yeah, there you go. You drive the short bus.
Oh no! All right.
That's gonna offend some people.
Probably
We can't offend people anymore.
You know, I
it's against the law.
you know,
in this day and age.
you know, from a couple episode titles ago, I think we're beyond the point of caring about offending people.
What was? Oh yeah. That whole
Yeah,
cancer.
That whole.
Yeah.
Oh,
that-
that-
we had a whole
that
rant
was
on
what, like,
cancer.
A few episodes back,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
91 or
I
something.
think we're beyond the point of offending people.
Yeah. Well, we got no feedback on that, so I think we're in the clear. We could probably be crazy offensive if we wanted to, but I don't really want to.
Here's what I
To
think
a
about.
Insert
Insert
Yeah.
racial
slur.
Racial, sexist, any misogynist, anything else.
But David's here. He second episode. You were just on like a crazy European vacation.
Yeah, it was my
like,
second
or-
international
Euro trip.
tour, I'd call
Euro-
it. Yeah, somewhat of a Euro trip.
He had
We went to England, Germany, Spain, and Turkey.
a bunch of European hijinks. You
Yeah.
were just causing mischief everywhere.
And then the last 4 days, I actually took holiday, or they call it holiday. We call it vacation.
Yeah. Very cool.
I toured 4 cities in 4 days and walked a total of 50 miles.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Recording the whole time, or recording parts of it?
Yeah.
So we'll be expecting some new videos.
Yeah, definitely.
That's cool. Travel Red Class. At, what is it on...
We'll plug them at the end of the show.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
get them.
We'll get the plug.
You'll
So, yeah,
get,
the
you'll
last-
get your chance for
The last 4
promotion.
days, I started in Rome, which was amazing. Took a train to Milan, slept on the train there, walked around Milan, took a train to Geneva, Switzerland, walked around there, stayed in a hostel, and then the last day was Paris.
Wow. Like, that's crazy when you think of it, because, like, U.S. cities are, like, so far apart.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. Like,
Major
Europe is all, like...
major U.S. cities. Like
Europe is, like, you can, like, drive from, like, Texas...
Oh, yeah, they
Like-
take trips to other countries.
Yeah, like-
within, they take a weekend to another
like
country.
like a day trip to Dallas is what, 5 hours? Like
Yeah.
5 hours to them is like they end up like 2 countries over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird to
It's
think.
like, all right, we're going on a road trip. Have your passports.
Yeah. I guess, yeah. I've never had to use a passport, except, like, I guess Mexico. But
That's using a
Have you gone to
passport.
Mexico?
like when I was a kid, like with my
Okay.
family, like we
not
went to like a
recently, I
border
guess.
town and like
Yeah.
bought like a
Closest I've been to Mexico was
Cocaine.
Brownsville,
no,
which is like
Black Tar
5
Heroin.
miles
Mhm.
from the border.
yeah. That's weird because you were just like Geneva, Rome. That's
Well, the thing over there is once you're in the like Europe, you don't have to use your passport in between countries because it's part of the European Union.
oh okay.
So
Oh, that's neat.
Mm-hmm.
they're all. It's almost
See,
like
I always
like
thought
like the states
it is
here
like
where
the
you don't
States.
need a passport.
I always
for
thought
them.
about that if I ever traveled abroad, if I'd need to like show my passport at every border I go
No.
to.
If they're part of the European Union, you don't. So
Mhm.
like,
While you
there's
were
a-
in Geneva, did you violate any conventions?
yeah,
What
I
are
bought a
some of
trench
those?
spike
I
and used it on everybody I saw.
while I was flying, I shot pedestrians. What are some other ones? Like chemical warfare. That's another Geneva
Nuclear
Convention.
warfare.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. but yeah, so France, you were saying you were there
Yeah.
like right before all that.
Yeah, I
craziness.
was in Paris on the 11th. It was a Wednesday. I flew out the 12th, and then I heard about all the attacks the next day.
Oh my
I flew out the
gosh.
day before.
Yeah.
That's crazy to hear. And
Perfect
then
timing.
and then you came to the United States just as more craziness happened.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
This,
Yeah.
every week we're hearing about something new.
Yeah, gosh. Stop being.
It might be a conspiracy, but I don't know. I think it might something's up.
Well,
It's a push for something. I'm thinking.
yes. Yeah, you always get that kind of talk, and there is some, like, if you look on Reddit or anything, you always.
It's a push to disarm the citizens.
They're trying
But
to
here's the
take our
thing:
guns.
stuff like this may have happened before, but the media never covered it.
Mhm.
But government may be funding it now to cover it, so they can push their agenda. I don't know.
Yeah.
Crazy conspiracy.
You
but
can't put it against. Unfortunately, you can't
Well, you can't put it past them.
Yeah.
like politicians are freaking.
Oh, they're trying to push the gun control so much right now.
And they're taking any story, and to twist it or contort it to their.
It's a good thing me and Jimmy are armed with machetes.
Well, I am armed with.
I have a machete.
You have a knife.
It's a machete. It's not a
Well,
knife.
third party is when you think of a machete, it's one of like the long ones, like Indiana Jones, like cutting through vines and stuff.
I'd say 2 feet length.
Yeah, I'd say that.
I'd
trying to
say
remember how
mine's
long
2
the one-
feet from
You're-
handle to tip.
How long the
No,
one
it's
you
not.
have is?
It is like a foot.
Yeah, it's still fine.
Mini machete.
It's-
Yeah, see, he still said machete.
Yeah, but like
I mean,
I don't know.
it-
I'd have to
all that
look at
matters
it
is that
again
we're
because
covered.
I've
You-
seen it before, but I don't know if I'd call it a knife because knives have certain. Let's say a knife shetty.
okay.
I'd say we're covered. You got a machete. I have a machete. David has like 3 unsharpened Japanese swords.
There you go.
So,
It'd be pretty deadly in a.
They could hurt.
Yeah.
it'd be pretty deadly.
I don't know if I could cut a
Like,
head off. I'm
if
not gonna
you're-
cut a head off, but I can maybe break the skin.
Like if you're
You
a
give 'em a
LARP,
nasty bruise.
like
Yeah.
if you were LARPing, you'd probably
exactly.
be pretty deadly.
Yeah.
I could
you'd,
pierce.
you'd cut someone's foam sword in half or something.
Those 3 are back. Put away. Save.
This wasn't in the rules. It said no metal.
Put away
This
your.
is my war.
Yeah. Who's gonna stop me?
Hey, you gonna stop me?
Start swinging.
There's no
to it.
security guards.
Yeah. Your security force also has foam weapons.
Like, there's no security. There's no armed security in medieval times. If they do that, then I want my money back.
Just start running around.
'cause you
I am
broke
Kirito.
You broke the illusion.
Well, welcome back. When did you come back? Like
It's been like 3 weeks.
Been like 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks since I've
well,
been back. So.
for the podcast purposes, welcome back.
Thank you.
Hope it was cool. So we'll get you the links and everything at the end of the podcast, but expect some new videos about the trip. So that'd be cool. I guess jumping over to news, the kind of the biggest like entertainment type thing is the Batman Superman trailer. Or is it
Yes.
Superman Batman? What is it?
Batman,
Batman.
Superman.
Batman
As it
is
should be.
first.
Well,
it should be.
first is the worst. So
Well, I heard someone had mentioned it's Batman featuring Superman.
There we go.
we all know Superman can kick his ass. So I mean,
No.
That's not what the comics said.
Oh, there we go.
which comic are you referring to? The
The
non-canonized
good ones.
ones?
The good ones.
Oh, you mean the written by the
Remember
hack?
this moment.
I'm gonna
the
say it
man
right
who
now,
beat
written
you.
by the hack Frank Miller.
It was the best depiction of Superman I've ever seen.
Worst. And it wasn't the one man who beat him. He had like 5 people helping him, and he still didn't. And he still had to fake his own death to get out of it.
Yeah.
He faked a heart attack, and Clark literally jumped up and caught him before he hit the ground.
Everyone knows Batman's better. Everyone in their heart
Batman is a whiny
knows is a
billionaire.
way better superhero than
He's a whiny
Superman.
billionaire. He cries to himself, and Alfred has to come
I heard a theory
He
somewhere
has to come pat his bottom.
that Batman's the crazy one and Joker is the right one.
Is
Because
yeah.
Joker got rid of the kingpins of the mafia.
Yeah, like in
And
the Dark Knight. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were saying that
he
that,
was he was the
the good
hero
guy,
of someone.
yeah.
And I'm like, well, it's plausible, I
yeah,
guess.
Well, yeah, he got rid of the bad guys and also like half their money. Like
Because Batman kind of just runs around and is like, I'm going to throw you in prison and then I actually do anything. It's like,
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, there's a on
well,
Reddit.
I mean, that's the definition of insanity: is doing the same thing over and over
Exactly.
again, expecting a different result.
yeah, but
Superman, however, gets results.
Okay.
nah,
He doesn't.
he's
F
an
around.
alien. He's an illegal alien.
Wow,
taking our
racist.
jobs. What?
Racist.
I'm not racist.
Racist.
I'm not.
He's a contradiction. In the
No.
movie,
He is.
he doesn't
he's
wanna-
a citizen by naturalization.
he doesn't want to kill anyone and then he kills Zod and feels bad. Yeah, we get like, oh, that's
Well, yeah,
amazing.
because he kills the last person of his race.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
no.
There's still other people that are alive. They're just in the Phantom Zone. Like they don't technically die.
Have
They're just trapped.
But
they
then in
even
the
brought up
trailer-
Phantom Zone yet?
In the trailer, he shoots a beam at Batman. So he's trying to kill Batman, which is contradicting
was
his.
was that Batman?
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
We're talking about the newest
He
trailer
grapples
just
to
came
a
out.
thing and he goes.
Was that Batman?
It
though?
might not be Batman.
Do you
Okay,
understand
at the
film?
bat suit?
Do you understand
Well,
film
no.
magic?
Well, no, because we do see him with his like laser vision eyes going,
Okay.
but it doesn't.
It may have been a
at
cut,
that
yeah.
scene. He wasn't shooting it. It could have been.
It could have been.
It could have been
Doomsday.
Doomsday.
It
Who,
could- spoiler alert! Go watch a trailer if you haven't. It's
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
the newest trailer for
Wow.
it.
if you haven't, what have you been doing on the internet?
Yeah. Come on, get it
Get
together.
with the program.
Get it together.
It's been more than 3
There's
hours.
more than
You've
just
seen it
there's
by
more
now.
than just porn on the internet. Trust me.
Wait, what?
There is
The internet- the
it's
internet
porn
is mind
and
blown.
new
The
trailers,
internet
superhero
is for
trailers.
porn, but it's not just for porn.
It was created
All
for
right.
porn.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well,
Whole
it's like
bunch
that.
of-
It's like that song. The internet is for porn. You know, but it's not just for porn. There's
A whole
other
bunch of
things you
nerds
can
30
do.
years ago were like, we can stream porn across the world.
That's like in the back. Like you can. Like that'd be funny to think. Like any like good
Well, yeah, like
good
any,
invention.
like advancement in technology, like
is
holograms.
just-
It's like imagine the porn on
Well,
this thing.
it's always just a matter of time. Like VR, I
Yeah.
think there's.
Oh, yeah.
it's already.
Well, it's
happening.
gonna develop into
It's
the
like
what?
back-
Do you remember Minority Report when they're in those like pods
Yeah.
and the guy's getting a lap dance? That's the next gen VR.
Yeah. No. That's like. Well, like holodecks and stuff like that.
Oh,
like,
dude, holodecks are my jam. Like,
yeah, that's like that'd be amazing
when that comes out. Well, they had. I think Robot Chicken had a skit where there's a scientist. He's like, I created this robot, and everyone's like, can we have sex with it? No, and
yeah.
they walk out.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's always the.
Well, 'cause we're
like
guys and we're
the
primal.
Joke. Yeah, that's like the joke. Like whenever there are robots,
We're
it's
gonna
like,
make sex out
how
of
much-
anything.
I think that was in a movie called that one movie that flopped. It was a bunch of like comedy sketches all pieced together.
Oh, like
movie
Oh,
34.
yeah, or 43. Yeah.
Movie
Yeah.
43.
Yeah.
I think there was a scene where they built like the eye robot or something.
Yeah,
It was,
like that,
a
a
naked
ro-
woman.
And like wasn't
And,
like,
like,
the
the
charging port or something.
Like the vagina was like a charging port or something.
Yeah,
And, like
so-
some guy lost his hand because of it.
Yeah, like
Wow.
you couldn't. Yeah, you get like electrocuted or burned if.
Yeah,
if,
like they're
if
in a
it-
meeting or
if that was
something. They're
touched.
saying like, yeah, we have a number of reports of young boys like castrating themselves.
Oh.
Oh,
There's an
okay.
anime called Chobits. It's not. I don't know, it's up in the air.
But anyway,
on the critics of it. But
back
the
to
on button for one of the female robots was the genitals.
Yep,
So,
Japan. Yep,
that's
that's
Just a
about
quick
it.
side note for that. But
moving
on.
back to where we were. Yes, Doomsday.
Back out of the gutter.
Doomsday is apparently going to be appearing
Yeah,
in some form.
in a
in it,
disgusting CG
in a-
form that
in the best.
I mean, the CG I understand, but it looks awful.
yeah, like yeah,
it
definitely.
looks like a Ninja Turtle.
Definitely,
Yeah.
they had to go CG. There's no way that could be done practically. Doomsday, he's always been like a.
Well, I mean, they did
Big-
it practically
big person.
for Smallville.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't-
Doomsday's in Doomsday
is?
makes an appearance in Smallville. Yes, he
And
does.
what? So
I
was the
never
guy in
finished it.
prosthetics, like with rocks coming out of him?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, weird. No, I'm not. I've seen Smallville, like some of the episodes, but not all.
Yep, Doomsday makes an appearance in Smallville.
What was his origin?
Uh,
Do you remember his origin?
I never watched Smallville. I just know that he was in it.
Okay. Well, the trailer makes it makes it seem like because they have the body of Zod in there, so like that Luthor, or I assume because he was
Yeah,
he was
Well, 'cause
brought
he's-
into the lab. And
yeah,
he
they
was
make
like,
it seem like they're trying to clone Zod or something.
What was
and
the quote that
they end up messing up?
Lex
and
says?
making
He's like,
Doomsday-
God
Doomsday.
wasn't, or you don't kill
Oh,
God. The
you
devil
can't-
kills God, or
Yeah.
Or if man doesn't kill God, then the devil will do
yeah.
it.
So I'm
Something like that.
thinking he's supposed to be the representation of the devil.
Yeah, like he's-
in a way.
he's
Where-
bioengineering using
Which does
Zod's
that hint?
DNA
Does
or
that
something.
hint at Batman's failure to defeat Superman?
What?
If he says man can't defeat God, like assuming because Superman's been alluded to being God because in one of the initial trailers of BBS, you see the statue and it says someone spray painted false God
Yeah.
on the Superman statue.
Yeah.
So assuming Batman is the man in this situation.
Well, they're painting definitely Superman as God. Like he's like that Christ figure, especially that one scene where he's like descending down on like the person with the
because
roof.
they keep calling him the savior because he literally can save people. He can fly and all this.
But I wonder if
the earth
does that one line allude to the fact that Batman ultimately lost?
Maybe.
Which in a lot of ways, unless he has kryptonite and a lot of help, yes, he's ultimately endurance-wise, he's not going to win.
Well,
he can't withstand being punched.
Well, just
several
speed-wise,
times.
Superman can get him in a second.
Yes. Superman
is
crazy overpowered.
Like, as much as I am
kryptonite.
Biased against with Superman in this fight, there is still always the possibility that yes, Batman can win, but the deck needs to be stacked heavily.
Which
in his
is Batman's
in his side.
forte. He's a master planner. So there's a theory on Reddit, and it kind of jives with the trailer where the fight between Batman and Superman is kind of just like a test that Batman is putting on Superman. I mean, that like if he kills him, then like he's bad or something like that, or something along those lines. Like it's just
witch trials?
Yeah.
If they drown their witches,
yeah,
If they float their ducks.
yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, like it's just like a test. Like he gets kryptonite somehow from something, because there was no kryptonite in. Was there?
There was no kryptonite
in
in the original
Man of Steel,
No.
in the
The
one
kryptonite
before?
was seen in the first trailer, or in the first trailer of BVS. Kryptonite made an appearance. Lex had kryptonite.
Okay, yeah, because so somehow I think Batman, at least in this theory, that Batman gets kryptonite and gets that suit that's like power suit or power armor, whatever it is, and that fight is kind of just like a test of some sort, like a morality test for Superman from Batman. And he's not really trying to win, he's just trying to see what Superman is about, something like that.
Which, I mean, it could be true, but I mean, there's a lot of dialogue in there that shows Batman's pretty pissed off at Superman.
Well, yeah, so he's
about the whole
Metropolis thing.
Well, because doesn't was it Alfred say something to Bruce, and then Bruce is like, "Screw it, I'm doing my own thing."
Yeah. Basically, that's what it seems like. Is Alfred saying like, "No, don't do this," and Batman's like,
he's
we're
got
not
to
at
pay.
war with Superman. He's like, "No, I'm gonna be at war with Superman. This is a personal thing.
Yeah.
He destroyed my building,
and
killed a lot of people.
I really like that building.
I like that building.
I like that building, guys.
I really like that building. I'm gonna kill that guy.
I got laid in that building so much.
But so
it's all about sex.
Yeah, yep, Batman.
Man, capitals.
But
so I wonder if that one line alludes to that. If he ultimately loses that fight.
maybe like
But
either they team up or something. Like they end up teaming up, and he's all like, "Crap, that's Plan A done. Plan B or Plan D, Doomsday."
Or I don't know.
Well, the new trailer shows them.
Well, yeah, for sure.
I don't, like they
Yeah.
can't. I don't think they can heavily jump on either side as far as like from a filmmaking standpoint, just because there's going to be backlash either way. Like whether the film's fantastic or it's a bomb.
Mhm.
Like if you have Superman just stomping all over Batman, or if you have Batman stomping all over Superman, you're going to get so much backlash no matter what.
There's no way the fight is gonna. No one's gonna win. Of course, like in the trailer that shows them not fighting at some points, so it's gonna resolve itself. Whatever fight.
It seems like there's two different instances they fight each other. Because in one of the trailers, it's when I think it's the first one where you see Superman rip open the Batmobile and Batman gets out and he doesn't have the suit on.
So that's like.
But then you see again where Superman
the
has the suit.
Yeah.
So it's either all just one sequence, or they're separate sequences.
It's probably somehow Batman gets away from that first fight because he definitely can't match him punch for punch. So he leaves.
Unless it's one of those things where you're right, like Batman does have kryptonite, and Superman
later on.
Like Superman gets the suit off of him, and as Batman's trying to get away, like he stands up out of the car and he's like, "By the way," And then it's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, I mean, it's the trailer. There is some mystery as far as that, and then Wonder Woman shows up, saves
Kinda
Batman. It seems
out of
from
nowhere,
from
Yeah,
Doomsday.
and I mean,
guess.
there's a lot there. I mean, as much as the trailer showed, there's still a lot of mystery because there's even a scene where Superman's like bowing in front of Lex Luthor, like he's took a knee in front of him. So there's even why was he doing that?
And then
Like,
they
was
have those-
Superman charged with taking down Batman.
Yeah, well, I know
Or-
Superman goes to court, most likely because of the stuff he did in Metropolis from the other movie. That's probably the plot point there. They still haven't showed.
In my defense, I saved the world.
Yeah, in my defense, you're welcome.
Can I leave?
But
What's a city of like 10 million people versus 7 billion?
Was it sacrifice a few,
6.9.
save the many?
yeah, it wasn't Spock who said
Yeah.
the needs of the many.
Yeah, weigh the needs of the
Exactly.
few.
Well,
Like
that's
10
what I
million really isn't a few, Superman. But I get what you're saying.
Krypton.
But that's
In Krypton, it's few
My
is-
entire planet was destroyed.
when I was 10,
I'm
I
leaving.
counted 1 to 10 million.
I'm leaving now.
But then so then they had the flying things, parademons.
Yeah,
at least
they had the
from-
parademons, which
and no Aquaman
which
in
is
the trailer.
vindictive of Darkseid.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's what you're
Um,
saying. That's what.
Yeah,
that's
that's
from.
Darkseid's thing. If there's parademons, then they're teasing Darkseid at some
Mhm.
point.
Just
And
throw 3 movies worth of stuff into one movie and piss off everybody.
Yeah. Well,
exactly.
yeah, pretty much.
Well, because
And-
what they're supposed to, it's Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman officially now. They have
Mhm.
footage of her,
yeah.
and it's also supposed to be Cyborg is supposed to make an appearance.
Mm-hmm. Aquaman.
and Aquaman's supposed to make an appearance.
Mhm.
Like, 'cause
So-
something tells me this is going to be a long ass movie
3 new characters.
because they're going to
And
go through a Batman.
I heard they're
like,
going to
origin
tease
story
Flash
too.
as well.
Okay.
They're.
It's going to be a mess, I think.
Well, that's the thing. And real quick, did y'all like Batman in the trailer? I didn't like
Ben
him.
Affleck as Batman.
I didn't like. You didn't really see. Well, I guess in the beginning of the trailer you saw
Well, you saw
Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
He seemed fine as Bruce Wayne.
That's
The Widow's Peak was kind of threw me off a little bit.
yeah. Well, in my mind, I've always thought it was going to be the other way around, where I wasn't going to like him as Bruce Wayne because I'll just see Ben Affleck, but I would like him as Batman.
Yeah.
But so far in this trailer, I didn't like Batman.
Really?
Like his, I don't know. He just didn't look like Batman. Maybe I'm used to.
He's-
What's his name? Christian Bale.
Well, you,
Batman.
you might be
'Cause
used to
he's-
like a less of a comic book style because this
Well,
is
'cause he-
definitely a more comic book style.
He's
Batman.
built.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
he's got the muscle.
He's going by.
He's
Was it Frank Miller? Is he the one that had?
Well,
the,
they're taking
the big-
taking like the power suit. That's all Frank Miller.
Mhm.
That's Dark Knight Returns.
Well, isn't even the gray suit with the
sort of the gray suit and
the tall
it's
Batman
it's a bigger
or the tall logo?
Yeah, it's a bigger Batman symbol
Yeah.
that they're using.
That's Frank Miller,
Yeah,
and the
that's-
small ears on the cowl.
Yeah, that's Frank Miller's
Mhm.
Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So they're taking it directly from that.
Mm-hmm.
bring Clooney back.
I mean, he
Yeah.
seems all right, but
Then you
you
go back
didn't
to that
really
having
see.
nipples.
You didn't see a whole lot of Batman without Superman being in the same vicinity.
Yeah.
And I think there are going to be some scenes where he is by himself,
Mhm.
like as Batman.
Like the part where he
Uh,
like grapples away from that blast
Yeah.
is cool. Like that looks cool. Like it's cool seeing Batman do like things
Well,
like
he
that.
never-
But whenever he's standing there with like Superman and Wonder Woman,
And he's
with,
holding that like
he's
gun
holding
or
a gun
whatever.
too, so that's kind of weird. But
Yeah.
it just looked wrong to me somehow. Like I didn't like the. I don't know. Maybe it'll be
Well,
different.
and I mean,
and it's
that
just
kinda-
glimpses right now in the trailer. So
That's the
I
whole
mean,
thing,
that
it's
kind of
teasing
throws the
stuff.
whole like original Justice League standing into chaos because,
Mhm.
like, if you look at any Justice League merchandise from like the '90s and early 2000s, it's always Superman in the middle, Wonder Woman like on his right side, and Batman on his right. It's
Mhm.
never been Wonder Woman in the middle,
Yeah.
and then
I guess.
well,
Maybe
well,
Wonder
no,
Woman.
that's just how it's been. It's always
2015,
Superman.
man.
Well, there was
women
a-
can be in front.
A Justice League
No.
release.
It's like, all right, Wonder Woman, you take Doomsday on first. We'll stand back here
Yeah.
and
Well,
play some patty
she's-
cake or
There's
something.
an action figure set. It was I don't remember what it was. A big deal where there was all 7. I think 7 of them, right? In
Mm.
Justice League's pretty big.
Yeah.
But yeah, my old roommate had it. It was this big long box,
Mm-hmm.
and in the middle was Superman.
Yeah.
There was Wonder Woman and all of them, and then there was Aquaman and Cyborg on I think the far sides. They're like the tertiary characters.
Well, yeah. I mean, whenever you think Justice League, you always think as Superman as like the leader, the figurehead of it.
You know, maybe they're maybe the whole 2015 thing. Maybe they are trying to like make a statement or something.
I mean, it definitely seemed like the hero shot, like that. There's the trailer. Like whenever like they had the panning, rotating shot of them together against Doomsday, probably, and that as well. Doomsday, like they changed his origin character. I think he's going to be more of just like a smaller villain.
Yeah,
like it's going to be a big baddie fight, but
yeah,
I think they're going to figure out a way to get rid of him in this movie. It's not going to be.
I don't enjoy what they've done. Just I mean, when me and you first saw the trailer,
mm-hmm.
and you had said something like he's such a big character,
mm-hmm.
and they're throwing him out there
mm-hmm.
like at the very at the start of this.
Yeah, the second trailer. Yeah,
at the start of their like phase one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're going by Marvel terms.
Yeah.
He's such a huge dude. I mean, yes, Batman versus Superman, them actually fighting each other, yes, that's a big thing. That's
mm-hmm.
been happening for like the past 20 years. People
mm-hmm.
have wanted to see that happen.
Yeah.
Since Christopher Reeves and Michael Keaton.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but Doomsday, he's the first one to ever...
He killed Superman, right?
He brutally beat Superman to death.
Yeah, so Superman's in the middle, yeah.
You know, and it's just ridiculous. Like, you're bringing in a character that literally took the Man of Steel and punched him to death.
Yeah. Well, we were saying where else could if they wanted to bring Superman villains in there, all his villains are larger than life characters.
Yeah, all his villains are huge.
He's Superman. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, there's a few jobbers in there. I mean, there's the Parasite,
Brainiac.
Brainiac's
another
big
one.
guy.
That's another big
Well, I
one.
think
big one.
Superman's kind of OP himself.
That's why.
Well, because his original origins, he had one set of powers, and then they kind of ramped him up. You know, originally he couldn't fly; he could leap tall buildings in a single bound. But now he can just levitate, and we're like, okay,
yeah. It's like now you have laser vision and X-ray vision, and in
the movie, on the other
Superman 4, he could rebuild the Great Wall of China.
Yeah.
On the other side of that, the original Batman comics, Batman dual wielded handguns and he shot people.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, well,
so
I think old time comics
original.
Yeah, old time comics were really bad because there's comics of Superman telling people like to slap a Jap during World War II to like buy.
Well, that's
bonds.
complete propaganda, exactly.
It's
but
buy bonds for the war.
There was
buy bonds,
old time comics where like heroes were like slapping women as jokes and stuff like that. Like it was like really sexist,
straight to the moon,
sexist stuff. Yeah. So I mean, and there's like laser weapons and stuff that Batman had, and he had all those like weird things in his belt, like this is my Batman shark repellent, like ridiculous stuff. But
yeah, they've definitely changed quite. I mean, especially with Superman as far as his powers, because there's a point in the comics where he's gotten just crazy powerful, and then they've nerfed him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's same thing with Batman, because I think in the new 52 comic series now, Batman's is a god.
Oh yeah,
like he's gained godly powers.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and now he's getting sort of out of like everyone's pissed off at him. They're like, you're getting out of like he basically became the Minority Report.
Mm-hmm.
Like he prevents crimes before it
happens. Yeah, they're definitely going to go through the changes on them. But
like I said, Doomsday is just too big of a character.
But to like where else they could have gone? Like definitely Zod is a good character in the first one, or a good villain in the first one, because
I think they could have they could have just run with Luthor. They could have just run with Lex Luthor, because I assume if they've gotten if they have Zod's body, then they must have gotten his armor that he left behind.
Yeah. And put Luthor in his armor?
Because Luthor does end up having a power suit at some point. And I would like to think that he's smart enough to reverse, and obviously if he's smart enough to try to clone a Kryptonian, that he's able to make a power suit of his own using Kryptonian tech.
Mm-hmm.
That was my thing, is that like Luthor somehow pits Batman and Superman together, and then Luthor comes out in his like power suit with kryptonite, and Batman has to help Superman defeat him.
Yeah, I don't know. They did.
I just think Doomsday's too big.
I agree.
Of a character,
but
to
also
throw out
I
there.
don't really see. that
He's
as
also
much
much
as
more
well
of a
either.
standalone. I think he's more of a standalone Superman villain.
Mm-hmm. Well,
He never became a Justice League villain until after the fact. Until after he killed Superman,
yeah.
and then Superman came back and defeated him.
I know. I see what you're saying. They had like the other Superman movie. What was it? Batman Returns with. Was that the one? Or what is it? Batman. Where he has a son and it's Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor. What is that one called?
Oh, a Superman Returns.
It's
Superman?
Superman Returns. Like that, his villain was, and that was like a callback to.
That was
like
just
the-
like the first movie.
Like the
Yeah,
first
that's like
movie,
original.
where
Which-
Luthor's big plan was a real estate grab,
Yeah.
like a land grab or a land creation grab. But
it was
like-
in the first movie. He'd make California an island, and then
and this one he made an island out of Kryptonian crystals with
Yeah.
kryptonite on it. But and we kind of talked about that in the podcast before. But so I think they saw that and how that one didn't do too well. So maybe they're like, we need a
Well,
big
that's the
bad
thing.
person.
I mean, Lex Luthor's never been in a mech suit. Like I guess the closest they got was in Superman 4, the Quest to Journey or Quest for Peace,
Mhm.
was Atomic Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess that's the closest they got to
Mm-hmm.
like a super powered Lex Luthor.
Maybe they didn't want to get
Like,
close
maybe,
to Iron
maybe
Man.
they bring that back.
Eh.
I
But
But
don't
it's
know.
not like an Iron Man suit. It's a bulkier shit. It's more of a mech.
It's
It's like a
it's
faux
massive,
mech.
It's a
like
massive
what
suit.
was that other one? Wolverine Origins, like that
Silver
kind of suit.
Samurai.
Yeah, that kind of suit.
Eh.
Something like that, but it's not like it's not encased.
Mm-hmm.
Like his head's free.
Yeah.
But and the thing with that, he has a lot of Kryptonian weapons. He uses kryptonite a lot.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
you know, and that's the thing. In this new trailer, you see no kryptonite.
yeah.
There is no mention of kryptonite, so
Mhm.
that might just be something they're holding in their back pocket for later.
Yeah, they'll. It's. I think that for sure. Well, you said it was in the first trailer, so it's somewhere in the movie. They just didn't do it in this trailer.
Well, which in the trailer you see Luther's scientists are wheeling a white box. I believe it's a white box.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
So it may not be Zod's body. It may be some kryptonite or the armor.
Mhm.
So he may be building the suit,
Yeah.
which
Yeah, you don't really know what's in it.
I
But,
think there's a lot of questions around even the newest trailer, which they kind of reveal a lot of stuff, but there's still questions.
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
Yeah, there's still a lot of speculation
How is this
about
gonna
what
play out?
and the people that make trailers, even though they may have not done the best job on this trailer, they still know what they're doing with trailers. They know how to put in scenes that could have multiple meanings.
Yeah.
and they do that fairly well.
well, because they've done it before where they've had stuff in the trailer where it's not even in the movie. So
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
complete tease.
Because they make those
Like
trailers.
that whole Doomsday's not even in the movie.
Yeah.
He's-
yeah.
They're like
Like
they're
that's actually Lex in the suit.
yeah. Or it's just like it's just like a video simulation that they
Yeah.
they
It was all a test.
yeah.
Like this is what happens if Lex succeeded in his plan.
Yeah. But so yeah,
all a dream.
I still want to see it.
Yeah, I'll
it's-
watch it, but I'm just keeping my hopes low.
Yeah. I mean the other trailer that kind of came out a little while ago though, but we kind of talked about it last week, but then we got sidetracked immediately after we started talking about it. But the Civil War trailer came out. That trailer showed like some pretty cool scenes. It had Black Panther in there,
Yeah.
so he's gonna be in there. And they showed
Falcon's back.
Falcon's back. Showed Captain America fighting Iron Man
Captain America
with,
and Iron Man fighting, or Captain America and Winter Soldier fighting Iron Man, and it was really cool seeing Bucky use the shield. Like Captain America tosses it to him and he uses it because I'm like, Bucky does become Captain America.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
in
say
the
fight, more of
comics.
a beatdown.
yeah, like Iron Man's. Yeah,
It was still a cool thing to see.
Oh, it was an
to
amazing
see him using the
scene
shield.
for
It
the
was like,
6 seconds we saw
he
it.
Yeah.
finally becomes Captain America.
mm-hmm. Yeah. So
And apparently they like mess up War Machine real bad too, because there's
Yeah.
a point in where
Where he's on the ground, all
there's a
like
point
destroyed.
where Iron Man's
and-
holding War Machine because he's all messed up.
yeah,
'Cause, I think there was a scene where Bucky's trying to rip out the core on one of the suits.
yeah. So
Which that can't. Well, no, I guess it could happen to Iron Man because he still has the core. He just doesn't have it in his body anymore.
Yeah, in the third movie, I think they had Pepper or
Yeah, because he destroys all of his suits at
yeah,
the
yeah.
end of the third movie, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that trailer came out, and it's kind of like a standard Marvel movie.
Yeah,
They've kind of been building up for this for
You'd expect
in a while,
you'd
since
expect
a while.
that from Marvel is for them to make like a really awesome trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Like they set the standard for superhero films.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I was thinking they've been doing good so far, and on the other side, DC seems like not so much.
Yeah, they're putting a lot of.
DC
Maybe that's
needs to
why
stick to,
they're going all out.
TV shows.
Yeah.
Well, Well, I mean, DC is always, as far as Marvel has always had the cornerstone in live action, but as far as like animated stuff goes, DC is like the king of animated.
Well, shows are like I liked
TV
The
shows
Flash. I
and
liked
films.
Arrow.
Mm-hmm. The Flash. Yeah, the Flash. I never saw Arrow that much.
DC.
They had crossovers in the show, which mixed them, which was nice.
I did see the Flash Arrow crossover.
And then even the show Gotham is pretty. It's
Gotham-
dark, but it's still good.
Gotham
like
is good.
And then I think we're coming up on the season finale of Supergirl on CBS now, which I
haven't watched it.
The finale.
From what I've seen,
I thought they just aired.
From what I've seen,
It goes back quick.
from what I've seen, they've like actually done really well.
Yeah,
I haven't heard anything about it.
I have the episodes. I just haven't watched them. I saw
well-
the first episode, and that's it. And I thought it was kind of cheesy at points. So maybe they once they start getting into the story, it's a little bit better. But
Well, I mean, I told you I haven't watched a full episode. I just been watching like clips online.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a show I could watch on mute. I think.
she is very pretty. I still haven't figured out how to say her name.
Melissa Benoist.
Benoist, or I mean, if it's French.
Let's figure this out.
Yeah, how do you?
Melissa Benoist, if you are listening to this podcast, can you please tell us?
Please tweet us the exact spelling.
Please tweet us in a
Pronounce-
video message how to pronounce your name.
I'm sure she's been on. Like the way you can figure it out is just like, she was on James Corden.
Jimmy, don't give in to reason here. We're pandering.
I think it's Benoist, but the premise of the show is okay. There's some like, why didn't she, whatever, but there's some like questions, but it's like a space prison crashed on Earth, and a lot of the prisoners escaped, superpowered prisoners.
something
Okay.
like that.
Yeah, so that's
Like I
how
said,
they get
I'm
their
not-
episodes, which is
Why does
fine.
everything come to Earth?
I know,
There's
geez.
more planets in the universe.
Like, why couldn't it just crash on like Jupiter and just
Yeah.
died because of
Well-
the atmosphere?
Well,
Jupiter, you
not-
can't really crash on Jupiter because
It's a gas
it's
giant.
all gas.
Not
but-
all the planets have America.
they're just attracted.
they're trying to come find
democracy.
freedom.
Yeah, it's just
Like they're all
Wafting
oppressive.
out freedom.
They're all oppressive. Like I heard that country has a place that has freedom.
This tiny little piece of land on this tiny planet in this 10,000 light years away. And that's the only in the whole galaxy.
it's like we could go down there and fight them, and we probably will win, but. Looks like they're doing a pretty good job of killing themselves. We can just wait
Just
it out.
wait it out
Wait-
200 years.
Just wait it out a little bit, and it'll be fine. We'll just
Yeah.
come down and,
Yeah,
kill all the survivors.
It's a show I watch on mute. She's pretty.
She is
Wow.
she is pretty. And
I'm not saying I do anything. I'm just saying I watch it on mute.
okay. But I mean, Marvel's got some good shows too. I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is really good. I liked Agent Carter. What was the other one?
She's pretty too.
I mean, all the Netflix. What's her name? I don't remember her name, but yeah, she was in the first Captain America.
Which one?
The
Peggy.
Yeah. Yeah. She's Agent Carter, and the Netflix stuff.
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones.
They're gonna be doing a Luke Cage series.
and Daredevil.
Oh yeah. And
Daredevil.
They just
wasn't
teased
bad.
Daredevil.
Yeah, no,
they just
those
teased
are all good.
another
All the-
Daredevil. They just teased a Punisher Daredevil.
Yeah,
too.
the next season of Daredevil's coming out at some point. So I mean, it's kind of tough. I'm still on Marvel's side so far. I know Fish, the other host who's couldn't be here today, but he's kind of all done with these
getting sick of it,
Yeah, he's his bubble, superhero bubble has burst already. So I'm not there yet. I'm still liking all these movies, and I
If
will
they're
watch them.
entertaining, then I'll go see it.
Yeah. Well, there hasn't been one so far that I haven't gone and seen or seen eventually. Like Ant-Man, I saw in theaters.
Ant-Man wasn't bad. Like,
It was
and
fun.
the thing with that one, I didn't really have any expectations for it. So I went into it just going into it, and it was good.
That's
like,
the best way, to go see movies these days. Like I'm trying,
because it wasn't like
my
a Superman
best.
Batman where it's popularly known. Everyone's like, Ant-Man, who the hell is Ant-Man?
He can shrink. What's
Like,
going to
wait,
be the
what?
story there? Paul Rudd? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that was
Yeah,
a bit of a
Paul Rudd was
surprise
like,
as
wait,
far
what?
as casting goes.
And he
He
like,
didn't do bad. It wasn't like was it Affleck's Daredevil?
Mm-hmm.
Which I'd say it wasn't his fault. It was the director's fault. All this other stuff, and then Elektra too in this. And that's a completely
Electra.
different tangent.
But so I haven't hit that point with
And then,
movies.
is it Evangeline Lilly is going to be the Wasp?
Yeah,
Oh,
they in one of the stingers they
Ah.
pun intended or unintended, but now intended. One of the stingers they showed her, or
It was an ending credit scene.
yeah.
They show the Wasp.
Yeah,
costume.
yeah, and she was like, finally, or something like that, or whatever. So that's gonna be cool. We'll see. They teased. What did they? When did they tease? They teased something where Falcon and Captain America were talking about some like thing they need to steal, and then Falcon was like, "I know a guy." Alluding to Ant-Man.
That was at the end.
Yeah.
That was the very, very end.
Yeah, that was after, because I think the Wasp thing
Was a
like,
mid-
was like mid credits,
And then that was after credits.
Yeah, that was after credits. Yeah, because it was Falcon and Captain America talking to, and Bucky was there.
Yeah,
tied
he was
up.
pinned down or whatever.
They need to get rid of the credits and just have ending scenes. Like, all right, this is the next movie. This is the movie after that. This is the one after that.
Well,
like,
the way they're going,
who
where they're
reads
like
credits.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, if
I understand, because if
I helped on a
in my
movie-
field, obviously, I would want to be included in the credits. Be like, oh, look, I was there, but
Yeah.
nobody reads the credits.
I hear in those movies, if you wait all the way until after the credits, they kick you out.
well, yeah, well, I mean, it's really smart because, like, yes, no one watches credits anymore, but at least people are staying there to see those other scenes, and they can kind of see like how many people it takes to make a movie. It's not just like a 5-day thing that they do, but so that's kind of cool.
I don't know if
it's
anyone.
all pseudonyms.
The only
It's just 5 people.
It's just 5
Well,
people.
Before I go online to see if there is an ending credit scene, it's about the lights. If the lights are still off when the credits are going, for the most part, probably there's going to be an end credit scene. So, and you see all those people walking out, you're like, you're missing stuff.
And it really depends on the theater that you go to.
Oh,
Some theaters will be like, all right, I don't care if there's a credit scene, get out.
I bet theaters hate like these superhero things nowadays.
like,
Like
I can't wait till those bubble pops.
I just want to clean this thing so I can get back to.
Well, do you think
something else?
We're less than 2 weeks out. Do you think that the new Star Wars will have an after credit scene, or
for 8?
or it will stick to its tradition of not having anything after the credits?
I don't know. They have stuff
about
to
tradition,
tease. I mean, they have well, I guess not because
Could this be an end?
None of the other movies have teases at the end of their films for the next one.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
obviously the original 3, those were way back when, before end of credit
prequels
scenes.
do either.
But also, I think
Well,
the prequels were kind of in a
it's-
time where before end credit scenes.
Yeah, I think
the last one
like
maybe
Iron
kinda,
Man, like
yeah.
like superhero movies were like
Well,
the start of it.
Well, do you think that they'll
as
do an end
the new
credit
one.
scene?
I don't
Could
know.
this be
'cause
another trilogy for 9 full Star Wars episodes? Or
I think they're.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
they're. I
of
think
course.
it's. I think it's not even
Yeah,
going to be a
it's-
trilogy.
yeah,
I
think
haven't
it's-
heard anything about
I think
it.
it's going to be more than a trilogy.
Oh,
I think
it'll
they're
be more than a trilogy.
I think there's
but-
going to be like episode 10,
10,
11, something like
okay.
that, and then also spin-off movies where
Yeah,
like
Rogue
Boba-
One.
Yeah, Rogue
Okay.
One is going to be,
Boba
but that's
Fett's
like a
supposed to be getting
that's
his
like a
own-
Wasn't that-
prequel. Boba Fett, Yoda, maybe who knows, or and maybe some new characters. BB-8 might get
Dude,
his
if
own
they can
movie.
bring back the puppet Yoda from. he seems drunk. Yes, go over there, Luke, and then do that.
Yeah. Jar Jar Binks is going to get his own movie. All types
Darth
of
Jar
things.
Jar.
Yeah.
I think did y'all talk about it last time? How Jar Jar was the Sith Lord.
We. I think we kind
I
of.
think y'all mentioned it, and I was
Yeah.
like, it seems plausible from what they brought up. I don't. Nobody likes Jar Jar, obviously, but
Yeah,
that's his game.
The thing is,
Just imagine the like culminations and the feelings you'd feel at the end of episode 8.
I'd kind of like it, but then I'd also be like, I don't like it, like because
it's Jar Jar.
Yeah, because it's like, yes, it's like really cool and it'll make you rethink.
I think it's because we don't want to be fooled by an idiot.
I'm like, dang you, Jar Jar. You wanted us to hate you. But
Playing the whole time.
But I don't know. Because they have things to tease. Because they couldn't tease Rogue One. I mean, they could tease it, but they couldn't do like it wouldn't work really because that's like way in the past.
Yeah.
Rogue One is way in the past. Usually the stingers and the after
for a
credits
future.
is for a future
yeah,
thing.
Rogue One is between episodes 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Yes. So I don't know.
So it makes me kind of wonder if Vader would make an appearance in Rogue One.
Yeah, I think you'd have to.
Well, yeah.
I would think so.
Because the plot of that movie is supposed to be them stealing
The
Death Star.
plans for the Death Star.
So I'd imagine he'd somewhat be involved.
And like at the beginning of the movie, he knows that the plans were stolen. He's actively searching for it. So
Yeah.
he
That's
could
gonna
be
be
a
the
central
question of,
figure,
who's
or he
gonna-
could kind of be
who's going to play Vader
Which-
now.
He could have solved everything. Cover up that port with a piece of plywood.
something.
It's
Yeah.
a photon torpedo. I don't think a piece of plywood's going
All
to
right,
stop it.
whatever. Anti-photon material. Here's $20.
It's science fiction. You can do anything. Yeah.
It's Star Wars.
Give it a
It's
coating.
because
coating
like
of
side note, this can piss off people. Star Trek has some points and facts, which has led to some actual some IRL developments.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, back to Star Wars.
Did you really
they could
just use IRL in actual conversation?
they could
they use IRL. In
dude, IRL is
IRL.
is in
David,
IRL.
turn your mic off.
I know. I
Turn your mic off and leave.
no.
Whatever.
For criticizing that, you turn your mic off. It's
Exactly.
fine.
Turn it off and leave.
It's fine.
Get out.
LOL. OMG.
I ain't got time for this. I got to make anagrams out of everything. Anyway, but yeah, they could have.
Star Trek's better. I understand. Okay.
How dare you?
Ooh, you just
I
lost
li-
50 fans.
I like it better. I don't not like Star Wars. Okay, whatever.
Anyway, that's the next podcast. We'll talk about Star Trek.
It was just you guys beating me up. Say you like Yoda. Say you like it.
Well, yeah, if he knew
Yoda's better than Kirk. Say it.
which I guess the Death Star is quite huge. That they probably couldn't have accounted for one tiny port that could have led to the core, but whatever.
Well,
The
I mean-
whole point of the port was it's a thermal exhaust. If they covered it up, then the whole thing would overheat and blow up anyway.
I mean,
No, don't make it straight.
like straight to the.
Spiral it. You can't. Okay, that takes a lot of force power to get that photon torpedo down a spiral staircase. If it's straight,
Yeah, and like all the diagrams, it's just like a straight line right to
Yeah,
the core.
like,
it's
really?
like, come on.
Well, it's the fastest way for
okay,
heat,
screw a
heat-
photon torpedo. Get someone there with a grenade.
Or
It's the fastest way for heat to get out.
find a way to channel that heat into a boiler room or something.
Yeah,
Just use that heat.
thermal energy.
Yeah.
Come
They
on.
have hot water in space.
They have they obviously have hot water in space. Like they're people
You know,
still.
there's no underwear in space. There's no hot water in space.
Yeah, everybody wears one suit.
Yeah. But yes. So that was like, or once they
in
knew the plans were stolen, like go through their plans and be like, are there any exploits that they could, or
Yeah.
are there any faults that they can
Well, I mean,
exploit
it
to
was
kill
the
it, and then fix it?
It was the Empire, though. They weren't thinking about. They're
Yeah,
the
that's the
Empire.
thing. The Empire's
they're just
only like 15 years old, or like 20, 25 years old.
probably 20, 30 years old.
Because if you think about their full scale, and which kind of bothers me about the new movies, they're like, when Han Solo says, yes, all this Force stuff is real, it's only been like 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
People are still alive.
No, you got to think though. The Force is still pretty scarce at the time of New Hope
Yeah,
started.
like only like 4
Vader
people.
killed like everybody.
Well, he killed all y'all.
Vader
Order
killed
66.
everybody. And Force users were like illegal.
But within what, one generation, everybody forgets? 1 or 2 generations?
No,
Everybody knew that the Jedi Council existed.
yeah, they were kind
So
of. A
they're
big
like,
deal.
okay, it was a thing. The Force wasn't just as magical.
How much time between 3 and 4 was it?
Well, because
Not much- not much-
Anakin
not
was in
too
his
long.
20s,
It
and
must
then
have been about-
and
it
then
must have
Luke
been
was
about
in his
20
20s or
years.
so. So I'd say max 30 years.
Mm-hmm. And then the movies. And the original trilogy. How long had of us?
I think maybe 10 years between them.
Maybe.
Because I think there was a gap where there's a few
So-
years where like things happened.
And
but-
then there's time between time before 6 and now 7. So I mean, it might be because at the
I
end of
doubt
the
it's enough
trilogies-
time to where the propaganda could be like the Force didn't exist, this and that. And
Yeah, because Luke knew about Jedi's, right? And on Tatooine.
No, he didn't know about Jedi's.
You sure he didn't?
Obi-Wan was the
Was
one
the first
that told
one
him
that-
about. I think. He may have known of them, but he didn't think much
Maybe,
of it.
maybe.
well, he didn't,
as
I guess
just like
didn't
a
know how
legend.
grand they were at the time. You know, he knew of Yoda, Obi-Wan, and then
He didn't know Yoda about
he
Yoda.
didn't know Yoda.
well,
He
not
knew-
in
well, he
depending
knew-
what
he was
movie.
told
you're in.
about
Okay, yeah,
Yoda.
in the first movie, in the first.
Yeah, in the first
in
movie,
th-
he
okay,
didn't.
Okay,
four.
first one, yeah.
He didn't know, but I thought he knew about Jedi's. Maybe it was.
Well, no, because I mean,
'cause it would
I
be
think they
maybe-
said, "Oh, this a
because
lightsaber a
his,
Jedi used," and they kind of
because Luke's aspirations in New Hope before he met Obi-Wan was that he wanted to go join like the Imperial Academy.
Uh-huh.
Oh shit.
Like,
Well,
because that was the only way to like get anywhere. was to go join the academy.
well, because all the Jedi were
yeah,
dead.
he didn't want to be a moisture farmer. That
Yeah.
sounds
on
super
a
boring.
desert. Like,
Yeah.
wait, how's that work?
Yeah. Well, did he about lightsabers? Did he notice Obi-Wan's lightsaber? And he's like, "Is that a lightsaber? Don't
Obi-Wan
Jedi's?"
gave him his first lightsaber.
Okay.
Which was it? His lightsaber?
Because
Was it Anakin's?
Luke gets ambushed by the Sand People.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Yeah.
Tusken Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
That's racist.
Well, we already know.
Sand People. Jesus, you can't just say that. Yeah, he gets ambushed and Obi-Wan saves him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then because I think it's all like Jedi in the Clone Wars. It's all sort of known, but it's not like it's not taught.
And it's
like a word of mouth.
and
thing.
it's kind of like yes, we would know it because like we're one planet. It's like a whole
Yeah.
galaxy or universe or not. Well, yes, universe, but
Well, yeah.
galaxy long.
Galaxy
And I mean,
far,
how
far
many people-
away.
How many people made the connection that that young kid Anakin Skywalker that went off to become a Jedi is also Darth Vader?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like how many people on
that-
Tatooine made that? I mean, obviously Obi-Wan knew,
Mhm.
and Owen and Beru
And Yoda.
knew.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
any
but they're not,
Jedi.
but they're not on Tatooine though.
Oh, okay.
Like on Tatooine, there's 3 people that knew Anakin.
Oh, okay,
Darth
yeah,
Vader.
And is the new movie happening on Tatooine?
I think that's where that one girl is,
Where
Rey.
they-
Yeah.
Where the Star Destroyers crash landed?
Mm-hmm. Is
I
that?
think that's where they are.
It's a desert planet. So
well, yeah.
maybe.
It's, obviously, it's not there, so we can't confirm. But
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't named.
It's like,
it, but
well,
I
it's-
think that's where they
so
are.
far in the history, desert planet Tatooine. Okay, and
Like
there's
in the
Hoth
trailers,
is a
it doesn't
frozen
have-
planet, and then
Is this
there's
Tatooine? No, Tatooine 2.
that one got blown up.
Tatooine. Sorry.
Get out.
And one thing I have to say, every
Kidding.
time I see a trailer for the new Star Wars, Rey, what's her name? Daisy Ridley, I think is her real name.
Yeah.
I saw it as a comment once, and I have like the more and more I see trailers of it, the more I agree. She gets like prettier every time you see a trailer that she's in.
She's a pretty. She was on Jimmy Fallon. And
Well,
she
for
played.
me, it's just like the
Flip
first time
Cup.
you saw her, I was like, oh, okay, but then you watch it, and, like maybe it's just like the love for Star Wars. It's like, oh man, she's just
Is our
Were
generation's
you watching
Leia?
it on mute again?
what it is?
No,
Is our generation's
the-
Leia?
the score is too good.
Yes, pretty much. Probably.
Put Daisy Ridley in a slave outfit.
No. They were
'Cause-
ti-
I guess us looking at Leia, from the original films, we see it in one way, but them seeing it, their standards of beauty was different back then. So they may have seen her as this goddess back then. We see her; she's still hot. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
we may see her in a different light. Like, oh yeah, she's hot, but
Mhm.
No, there's no bet about it. Carrie Fisher in that slave costume back then. Jeez.
Wow. Okay. Let's try to get it off sexist.
move off of mute.
She was also a very good leader and fighter.
She is a great actress, and I
she's one of
respect her
the-
in her acting ability.
She was one of the only female characters in
She
those
led
movies.
She
something
was,
in that-
yeah, I think
she
the
led-
only one.
Yeah,
She
like there
led
was like
something
2
in
others.
that slave costume. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Stop talking.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
caused an uprising.
Oh, our audience is telling you to kill yourself. Audience
Yeah.
is always right.
Something Rebel Alliance.
Something.
If you know what I mean.
Dark
It's not even-
side.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
The force
Alright.
is strong.
Oh gosh, I just thought of something too.
Moving-
I don't want to say
Moving
anything.
on.
Yeah, something
Um,
about thermal exhaust. I don't.
I'm gonna stick a 4-time torpedo in your thermal exhaust port.
Oh my gosh. Oh yes, and it will be forceful.
Oh no!
Open
hashtag Carrie Fisher.
open
no.
mic for
Hashtag
I'm
misogyny.
sorry.
Daisy Ridley.
We were saying we didn't want to be offensive, but
I'm sure they'd be flattered.
no.
Well, here's the thing. We don't want to be offensive. We just are.
Yeah, it's just we're
We
product,
try not to. It just comes out.
We're products of our upbringing. Thanks, older generation.
Thanks, slave Leia.
Let's see.
Thank you, slave
Let's see,
Leia.
we're going on about an hour. I'm fine. Let's see. We have some other stuff to talk about.
No, this was pretty much the DC Star Wars episode,
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much
and how much Star Trek sucks.
Star Trek. Okay.
Oh wait. No,
All right, real quick.
Please.
Real quick. Just real quick.
Bring me back next week.
The only reason I like Star Trek better is because there's so much more content right now.
Well, just because you don't read books, there's a lot of Star Wars books.
Well, I don't read books, so therefore I don't count
Okay.
that as
Well,
content.
The lore, I wouldn't say equal. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not super in depth on either, but
lore wise and that Star Wars is deeper. I could admit that, but there's like 5 different series,
appeal
TV
wise,
series.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
5 different TV series, multiple seasons of
Yeah.
series.
Voyager was the best.
And movies. Which one?
Voyager.
Voyager. I haven't finished Voyager yet.
Oh my god!
oh my
Kill
God.
yourself,
Next
David.
Generation was really good. All of them
okay,
were really
okay.
good.
No, I'm
I
saying
haven't
I'm
seen.
saying David should be ashamed.
I haven't Voyager so far.
I grew.
about
Okay,
halfway
sorry.
through.
My first Star Trek experience, was Voyager, so that's why it's my favorite.
Well, and it's really good, and like
Captain Janeway for the win. The only female captain. Thank you.
Yeah.
It was 1990 something people.
But
I think 96.
but Voyager was really good. Deep Space Nine was good.
Yeah.
Next Generation
Didn't
and
Deep
the original
Space Nine
series.
have the Quantum Leap guy?
Scott Bakula?
Yeah.
No, that's Enterprise. I haven't watched Enterprise. That's the prequel. That was before the original series in chronologically, but it was the most recent one. And
Until the next.
there's going to be another one, yeah.
Yeah.
They're making another series, and the movies are good.
I like the movies.
Yeah, like the new Star Trek movies are really good.
They're not doing. I would say, they're not hurting
Mhm.
the franchise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, J.J. Abrams did that
Except for the lens flares.
alternate. Yeah, and I yes,
2 hours
there were
of just
too much.
blinding light.
There's too much, but he wanted it to be modern.
Blinded by light.
Well, yeah,
Exactly.
mix that with Boaz. Like,
Yeah.
that's the new gen of movies.
But like the older movies are fine, like cheesy as some of them may be, and some of them aren't as good.
the practical effects.
yeah, I mean,
Half opening doors. Well, there's the kind of back to Star Wars where the stormtrooper hits his head on the thing. That's just funny. Like,
yeah,
these
those
little Easter-
kind of things, and so.
But yeah, the 2 new Star Treks, for kind of moving into that realm,
Mhm.
they weren't bad.
No, I enjoyed them.
They appropriated the story, I would say, well.
And they're keeping their old fans because they throw in those callbacks of like, but they kind of change them a little bit, like like in the newest one where Kirk dies in the reactor instead of Spock.
Yeah.
And they do the callback with the hand thing.
Oh, yeah.
They're keeping J.J. Abrams. Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. He's a fan, which is good. And
That
now
bit,
he's doing
he should have
Star
yelled
Wars.
Khan just like Shatner, which would have been a perfect thing, just because it's like, oh, boom, and then the pull out of the planet. But God, it's like, but yeah,
Or
I
they're
did
funny
like
if,
how they,
Spock did it, like just like switch their roles completely.
I did like how they switched Spock and Kurt's role in the reactor,
Mhm.
where it's
Yeah.
like they appropriated it to where it still calls back, but it's a new version of it, which.
It was one of those things, like, I never saw Wrath of Khan,
Mhm.
but then I watched that Star Trek movie, and I was like, oh, yeah, that scene's from Wrath of Star Trek. It's like one of those iconic things, like, no matter, even if you haven't seen it,
Mm-hmm.
like, especially with going back to Star Wars now, like Empire Strikes Back,
Mm-hmm.
like, the scene from Empire Strikes Back without ever having to see the movie.
Yeah, I mean,
You
it's
know
just
what it is.
ingrained in pop culture. Like
Like, there's
anytime-
children that are born knowing that, like, knowing the twist of the Empire Strikes Back.
It's in our DNA now.
Yeah.
Or anytime there's a fan Like you're gonna say, "Luke, I'm your father," into that fan, no matter what.
And then, like, they're
But
just
no,
like,
that's a misquoted quote. He says no.
Yeah, no,
I am your father. He
yeah.
does not say Luke. He says no.
But
Thank
the misquote
Like there's
is
another
in our.
character named No, like somewhere.
But he's like a little robot. What? Another little cyborg with little arms. But no, if I had a time machine, that'd be one of the. Let's say I had 5 trips to a time machine. Anyway, not the point. First of all, I'd go to Woodstock. Second, I'd go to the premiere of that movie because at that time,
Would you like ruin it for people?
Oh no, I'm not that much of a dick.
Like you drive by like the line for Empire Strikes Back.
He's the
Vader's Luke's father.
Oh my gosh, that'd be
like the worst.
Vader means father in German.
Well, no, you'd probably like.
You should have
probably
known
a lot
this.
of people would look around and be like, "That's stupid.
Get
Why
outta
would they
here."
do that?"
And they're watching it. Oh shit! But no, yeah, to go there. Well, I guess it'd be hard for me because I already know
That's
how
the
cinema
thing.
goes. But like for them to experience at cinema at that time, was still somewhat of a new thing in a way.
Well,
You know,
yeah,
it's 100
I mean,
years old, but
there was
like
nothing
that
like Star
type
Wars,
of thing.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Star Wars. Like so for that reveal was literally mind blowing. People's minds blew up.
I've heard like there was like cheers and like people crying in like the theaters in those days of seeing Star Wars. So
It's like-
I
it's like
wish I
that-
could go back in time and kind of like erase my memory
Exactly.
of Star Wars so I could see it. Well, that's
I think you
always
said the same
the
thing
case.
about, like, the
Well, yeah, erase my
I
memory
know.
and then rechange.
I wish
it.
I could like any like movies that I really like. I was like, I wish I could just clear my mind
or
to
almost
watch
just
it again.
re-experience it, because even some of the modern movies where I'm like, that was an amazing movie, just to be able to go back and feel that, because you watch it the second time, like, it's still really cool,
And I
but
think
you
obviously-
know,
And I think that sort of shock and awe has like transferred to television now, because there's some Breaking Bad was such a huge show,
shut your mouth.
and it was just such a big water cooler show. When things happened, everybody that was watching it talked about it the day after it
Yeah.
happened. And Game of Thrones is much like that now. Everyone's talking about
well,
it.
Walking Dead, like
Walking
they
Dead
have
is just
the
another
Dead, yeah.
big show.
the
That,
Glen-
it's a big
the
water,
Glen thing, yeah.
big water cooler shows. And I don't think movies are like that anymore, where they're not like, especially now with all these superhero movies, you know what to expect. The good guys are going to win. If you've read the comics, you basically know where the story arc is going to go.
Well, 'cause it's not
like there's
new.
no investment
Because
in
of the
movie-
comics.
There's no investment on the audience part anymore into movies.
Mhm.
They can go and see like a one-off and be like, okay, it's done.
Yeah.
Back then with Star Wars, and it probably had something to do with that. It was like such a new
There's
type of
there's
filmmaking.
nothing novel anymore. There's
I almost
nothing
wonder,
new.
like, back then,
rarely anything
You know,
new.
What was people's entertainment? Because now we have so much media.
Well,
we
it
have
was like-
movies, TVs, games, even board games still, which are still a big thing.
I wonder what was kind of around like the movies like in the weeks before that Star Wars came out. Like what was going on? Was it like Singing in the Rain and just that's what I think of like older movies like Singing in the Rain
the
and
only
like
real, I guess, insight into it would be like that '70s show. They do a good portrayal of the '70s. Obviously, I wasn't alive during the '70s.
Yeah.
I was born in the late '80s.
Yeah.
But
it was
from what I have, not I would say research, but
yeah.
what I know, they do a good job, and they just watch TV all day. And
Yeah.
it was very little on TV, and they get
or music. They listen to
music, and they just get high all day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Praise the '70s.
Because when was Star Wars 78? When was the original?
76, 78, somewhere
The
around there.
70s.
70s, yeah, into the 70s. Yeah, so it was music.
Oh yeah, music and free love and 'cause
Yeah,
it was
hippie stuff.
the runoff of the hippie era of the '60s.
Yeah, and Star Wars, there was like nothing like it. There had been sci-fi stuff like
But not Star Wars.
nothing like Star
Like
Wars.
Lucas, I guess at the beginning, like the way they did it, the visual effects and all this, the practical effects, first of all, was amazing. Like,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
then
yeah.
the pew pew lasers and the lightsabers.
Yeah, it was just like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Yeah, so-
Was it After Effects 0.1?
yeah, like the beta version.
We can
of
make
it.
lightsabers. One of my projects in college was me and this guy. We did a lightsaber fight. He was a bounty hunter chasing me, and we did a lightsaber fight.
That's cool. I would that'd be cool.
Well, it's funny because he tried jumping off a tree, and he got about half a foot. Like it was, and everybody in class gave him so much like mess for it because it was the half-ass attempt of like leaping off a tree. It didn't fucking work. Like you're not a Jedi. You're.
Yeah, that's funny. It's
I'd have to show y'all. It's hilarious.
It's just because I mean
And
it's
kind
so
of homage. That's the amazing thing about Star Wars is even 30 years later. Nowadays things die out within a year.
Mhm. Star Wars
30
is-
years later, at least was it 30 to 40 years later?
Yeah.
It's still a thing.
Yeah, there's a movie on Netflix or a documentary on Netflix called "The People versus George Lucas" or something like
Yeah.
that, where they talked about George Lucas making all of his little changes and whatnot to the movies. But they also talk about like the fans who've like made like shot for shot remakes of the entire movie, and like people making like low budget, like bad special effects just because they love it so much. And so
Well, to do a lightsaber is not that hard.
Mhm.
It takes time because it's very tedious. You got to go almost you literally have to go frame by frame.
Yeah.
But you can make. I've seen plenty of very well done homemade lightsaber fights. It's 2 10-year-olds fighting with lightsabers.
Well, they had that one little short clips. Well, a bunch of them, but they have like the dad who's like an animator.
Yeah.
And he has his son in like the store with like a toy lightsaber, but he
cuts through the shelf.
Yeah, he cuts through the shelf,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh, a little kid. So yeah, it's all it's in a lightsaber is just freaking cool.
Which I like that kind of series where like the parent grew up during this time period, and they were a part of this experience, and they are incorporating their next generation, their children into it, which is just really cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what you're supposed to do with your kids. Instill all your likes onto them so you can play with
Well, all
your
the
own
good
toys.
stuff, like
Yeah.
Star Wars and
Yeah.
Star
It's
Trek.
like, I didn't buy this toy for you. I bought it for me.
Yeah.
Well, there's the big joke is like you have a kid so you can play with your
old
toys again.
Yeah. We said that one of the other episodes.
Pokemon, Legos,
Yeah.
hell, I'll go even far back. Lincoln Logs,
Yeah.
It's
maybe.
like, you're
As
playing,
primitive as that
you're
is.
playing Pokemon with them, they pick like Bulbasaur. Is like scrub.
Wait, what? Fuck you, Bulbasaur. Sorry, I don't know if we can cuss on this show.
No. Go ahead. Whatever.
Bulbasaur. What's wrong with Bulbasaur?
Charmander. Who doesn't pick Charmander?
Okay, but here nobody picks Squirtle, right?
I liked Squirtle. Like I had like in
I
the card
didn't
with
pick
the
him,
cards.
I'm,
I
like,
liked
just-
Squirtle.
I didn't pick him like because of his name.
All right, I had 2 different
You
playthroughs.
were
It
like
was
a
either
kid, come
Charmander
on.
or as Bulbasaur.
Well, no, it still sounds stupid.
He's a squirting turtle.
Yeah,
Come
but
on, that's-
fire. How are you not gonna pick?
I know.
the name?
I always pick Charmander.
Well,
no, I
fire
know that, but
cleanses all. Come on, really? Like,
Wow.
whoa.
All right.
not going there. I know where you're going. Not even that.
but,
Stop going there.
Charmander all the way.
So you
That's-
said you're by Turkey, David?
But anything else, or pretty much anything else news topic wise you want to bring up?
Well, I think we may have discovered something about David here, but we'll keep you posted.
Well, next episode.
Yeah, we'll get into that. We have to go to something. But all right, we've gone about over an hour. So real quick, the links for Travel Red Class.
Twitter's at Travel Red Class, and then I believe
Then it links over to your YouTube from there. So
Yeah.
check out
there's
that.
YouTube,
So,
Instagram, and Facebook.
so yeah, just travel videos. He goes to all these crazy places.
Just big
and-
travel vlogs. Wherever I'm at, I'm taking video. It's the whole point of Travel Red Class. Red Class means experience and any adventure. People travel first class. I travel Red Class, which means I'm looking for any adventure I can. So
There you go. Very cool. And how many videos so far? Like a few of them, right?
there's a few up right now.
Yeah, so-
There's 2 international tours I'm still working on right now.
Mhm.
There's that, and then some more personal home back in the America
Yeah,
stuff.
there you
So
go. Very cool.
there's always stuff to fill the gaps.
Yeah, and
Travel Red Class is owned by Electrical Media Corporation.
yeah. So yeah, illogicool.com. If you go there, you'll
God
find
damn it.
links to that as well as the episodes here and any articles that we write as well. But yeah, make sure to follow all of us on social media. I'm at the Jimmy Hughes on Twitter,
I'm at Jace PV on the Twitters.
and you're
at Travel Red Class.
Travel Red Class. So do all that so you'll be up to date on everything we do.
All tweets are owned
and
by
also
Electrical Media Corporation.
yeah, we have to record that so I can just throw that in anytime we say any of our properties. But
You gotta do it real fast.
Illogical Media, all rights reserved. But every Monday we'll have a new episode of Thinking Outside the Pod, and there'll maybe some more podcasts in the future.
We're getting close to that 100 episode.
Yeah, we're
gotta
getting
do something big.
What did we say this one was? 94.
94.
We should do something big, but I tried to do something big for 50, and it was so much work. But we'll see. We'll definitely do an episode
Drunk
at
cast.
least.
That was a pre-big. We got to go big.
We have to go super big. All right. Well, yeah. Well, expect big things. Why not? Bye.